Hey, what's up, people? This is Ike Love, creator and author of the blog, The Viable Alternative, which is an inspirational blog where I share the wisdom insights gained along my path of becoming a greater, stronger version of myself. And if you want to read more on the blog, go to www.theviablealternative.com. The title of this video blog today is How to Cope with the Frustration of the COVID-19 Quarantine. And so, for me, this is like day 21 or 22 of the COVID-19 quarantine for me. And as I've been looking on social media, I'm reading some very interesting stories. One of the things that surprised me was they were saying that an article said that alcoholism or alcohol consumption has gone up, which I mean makes sense in the sense that people are people they're home with nothing to do, and alcohol, number one, it can fill in a lot of gaps of time that you feel are monotonous and boring. You drink alcohol, you get tipsy or buzzed or drunk. um, you don't have to deal with your boredom because now you are dealing with being drunk. Or if you are just trying to avoid the discomfort of being with yourself, because now that you don't have to go to work and you're staying home, you're probably facing some very uncomfortable truths with who you are and being with yourself. And alcohol, obviously, can basically keep you from confronting those issues that you don't want to deal with. Also, if you're just dealing with, you don't like the people you live with, maybe you're in a relationship and really you're not really happy with one another, and you both being out of the house for most of the day and only having to spend a small portion of the day with one another, you didn't have to really, it was bearable. But then now, when you're in the house 24/7 and people are on top of that afraid to go out and advised not to go out, you have to be with that person now that you can't stand. You first you couldn't stand earlier, but you tolerated because you didn't have to see this person all the time. But now you now you can't tolerate the person because you're around them all the time, and therefore, instead of basically dealing with the relationship and confronting it like a mature human being, mature adult, you resort to alcohol because most people don't want to face their uncomfortable truths about themselves, about their relationships, or about their lives. That's another thing, alcohol. Things about your life. A lot of people use alcohol as a way to avoid dealing with it. Questions you that need, or excuse me, things that need tackling, but you don't have the courage to tackle them. You drink and just time flies. So this is what I'm hearing, about like amongst just the panic and so on and so forth, and initial depression because again, you don't have work to distract you, so now you have to deal with your own uncomfortable feelings. You have to deal with the worry about your job security, paying bills, so on and so forth. So, really speaking, what's going on in people's lives is that it doesn't have any more structure. The structure has basically been pulled out from under the rug from a lot of people. Um, and therefore, people are just now going stir crazy and getting cabin fever. But what I think now, what has personally helped for me is that when the outside structure is taken away from you, you have to provide the structure for yourself. In fact, you should be providing the structure for yourself anyway. You don't need the excuse of work to do it, because if you have a job giving you the structure, which you don't have total control over, once that's taken away from you, that in and itself affects your well-being. It affects, I mean, obviously speaking, yes, even if you are well grounded and rooted in yourself. Someone who loses a job, it'll be a disruption for anybody. But what I'm saying now is the way to take back your power and take a proactive role in your life is to give yourself that structure that you were looking for others to provide for you. And I personally believe one of the best things you can do is to start a morning routine. A morning routine, a morning routine will basically, first off, it's okay. Number one, it's a way of, again, giving you that structure in life and giving you, cultivating some type of discipline. Number two, it is, number two, it's a way to really nurture and self care. And again, when we take that time to nurture and provide care to our own selves, the love we have for ourselves, our self esteem, our self respect goes up. And when that happens, the way we look at life starts to change as well in a more positive way. So, my advice to you is create some type of routine. It could start by waking up at a certain time, if that resonates with you. And then you can wake up, you can say your prayers if you're spiritual, religious. You can meditate. You could say some affirmations. You can just spend some time in quiet time, just reflecting. You could even just put on some sneakers and some sweatpants or whatever, and a mask and gloves, and maybe walk around the block, walk 3 blocks, have that personal meditation. I know someone who, what they do very early in the morning is that brush their teeth, wash up a little bit. They take their audio book and, or audio, what do you call the audio book app on their phone. They put it on and they play a book and they walk the blocks, a couple of blocks and everything like that. And it could be a very meditative experience. It's a way to just get you grounded within yourself and really set the day. You could wake up and immediately get a glass of water and pop your vitamins. You could take a cold shower. I don't see how people do that. Maybe one day, 3 years down the line, I may see the value in that, but I don't understand how people do it now. But indeed, some people do it. And I heard it gives you that jolt for the day. And also I heard it's very good for your immune system. You can engage in some type of reading, whether you choose to read the Bible or a personal book you're reading, or the Quran, or what other stuff are there out there. Whatever spiritual book that helps nurture your spirit in the morning. You can even write down your intentions for the day. You could visualize for the day what you want your day to look like. But whatever you really, or you can start to combine all of them and come up with your own routine. I mean, that's what I do. A couple of the things I mentioned, this is what I do. And I was doing this way before the COVID-19 quarantine. As a matter of fact, I've been doing this since really strictly since 2009. 2009, I remember I was going through this hell and I was thinking of literally just like ending my life because I was going through this mental health for 9 years and it was just awful. And I was slated to go to some spiritual retreat to cleanse and everything. But at that time, in 2009, I was just completely, totally depressed. And so what had happened was that at one point I just stood up and was like, nah, I'm not going to let this thing beat me. And like a soldier, like as if I was in a camp or something like that, or POW, or even an actual jail, I said, no, I'm not going to let this thing beat me. And so I resolved to, as soon as I got up in the morning, I prayed and then I meditated. And it was funny, a mentor of mine before then had been getting me to meditate and I was on and off about it. But when this crisis hit back in 2009, my own personal crisis, I said, no, I'm going to have a routine and I'm going to gird and strengthen myself. And that's what I did. And then over the years, I added to it. I And to this day, so what I do is I pray, I meditate, then I stretch for about 5 minutes. I stretch from head to toe. Then I say my declarations for the day. I go into the bathroom. I say my story affirmations of what I want my life to look like. And then I watch an inspirational YouTube video while I shower and wash up and so on and so forth. And I forbid myself to respond to any emails or respond to any texts or go on social media until I do this, until I come out of the bathroom, having brushed my teeth, having showered, having said my affirmation and done my morning routine. Then I give myself the opportunity now to go on social media, answer texts, respond to emails, things like that. Now, uh, during this quarantine, there is this 21-day webinar about dealing in times of crisis, and it's basically a webinar that they have some amazing topics each day. It's given like maybe 6 days out of the week at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They broadcast a webinar from California and the West Coast. But I watch that from goes sometimes an hour and a half, 2 hours, and so I get myself ready to watch that. And then, that's when I can now begin the rest of my day, and I make myself some food. I yeah, and then then the day just now, then the rest of the day has no structure. No, but really, actually, it puts me in a certain mindset. What it does, it just makes me feel proactive in a situation like this. It gives me, you know, the control that I can have over my life while everything is shut down. I've taken it by making these proactive decisions to um, conduct this routine in my life. And yeah, it's a way to care for myself that no one else can. And so that takes the power that one sometimes puts in other people's hands and it puts it back in my own hands. What it also does, like I said, it's a way to self-care and self-nurture. It tells me that I'm an important person, not because anybody else says it, because what I say and excuse me, because what I do to because I say and what I say and do for myself, you know. So what I say to you, yeah, cultivate some morning routine, and you know, I know some people have a night routine. I probably should have that as well. I don't fully have that one yet. I do work out at night. I do my calisthenics at night, and I've started also writing my wins for the day, like my wins, whatever that is, whatever personal um, accomplishment I did, whatever, I write it down in my journal. So again, this is not just talk that I'm posting on social media. Oh, do this, do that. No, I really, literally, am trying to live this. So, if many of you are, um, well, I know many people have. Has another thing too, actually. If you actually think about it, every day seems the same. No, there's no more such thing as a weekend because nobody has the 5 days of the week to take off from the weekend. Not nobody, many people. There are some people still going to work and who are doing a great job, because they're who are maintaining this society, whatever. The hospital workers, grocery store workers, people who work for the public transit, so on and so forth, and they're to be commended. But for most other people, they're home, and so they don't have a weekend to take off of work from, and so every day seems like a day. I know for me, some days I was like, wait a minute, this is already Friday. Like where did the rest of the week go? So what you call yeah, in a day where in a time now where every day seems the same, it's very important that we provide that structure. You don't have to depend on the government to do it. You don't have to depend on your employee or your school. You can do it, and you can build from there. Because I personally believe it lays a foundation now for you to want to tackle other things in your life. Um, I do know when I saw an interview one time with a monk who was a former monk, actually. I forgot his name. I think it's Jay Shetty. It's an Indian guy, or Ramit. Something SETI, either Ramit or Jay. I'm confused because I know one is actually a businessman, and so it's either Ramit or Jay SETI. I don't know which one. Um, I hope it is actually. I'm not getting the wrong person. And but anyway, they talked about when they would have personal issues during their monastery, and they'll go to the head monk, the swami or the guru or whoever, whatever they call it. Again, forgive me if I'm butchering what they call the head person there. And he would say, "Did you make your bed in the morning?" Because making your bed in the morning, a place where you spend a good part of your life in sleeping to replenish yourself, it's a mark of foundation and order when you make that the first thing in the morning. It provides and sets the tone for the rest of the day. And so I say the same thing about a morning routine. You have that, it's like a home base, because however you begin your morning will have a huge influence to set the rest of your day. Doesn't mean that if you have something mess up happy in the morning, or something like emotionally, some type of drama, or whatever, or something that's emotionally intense, doesn't mean that you still cannot recover and have a good day. But I personally believe you're more likely to have, and you set the foundation for a good day or productive day, if you have a good, solid morning routine. So, um, you know, I think deep down inside there are things that we just know we should be doing, where we don't do it. But let's use this time now and create a solid morning routine. It could be just one thing. It could be you just getting up and touching your toes and getting on with your day. But it's something. It's some type of discipline and consistency in your life. You know, I know people generally don't like doing stuff like this because it's too much structure. People don't like structure because they feel they're being confined. But I personally find, actually, when you do have some semblance of structure, it actually makes you more free, because the greater the foundation and the deeper it is, the deeper the roots, the bigger you can build, and the more solid of a building you can build on top of that foundation. So believe it or not, some structure actually gives you freedom. You know, it's kind of like, when you go to the gym regularly and work out. People think, oh, it's a drag. This person's going to the gym at night or waking up early going to the gym. But you think about it like this: that person is more likely to have less health problems than someone who's not going to the gym and not having structure in his life. So this is my 2 cents on why you should create a morning routine, and how that will give you some semblance of control during this whole quarantine, however long it lasts, which is another thing. We don't know how long it's going to last. People said, what does Trump say, April 30th? That's not happening. I don't think that's happening. I don't think it was going to May. I think June at earliest. And some people are even saying it could be a year. Who the hell knows? God forbid. But the point of the matter is, your ass ain't going anywhere for a while. So, um, learn how to be proactive. I know that a lot of prisoners, actually, who spend a lot of time in jail and they came out productive, is because sometime during their prison stint, they got some type of routine. So start yours in the morning. I got to go. Um, if you want to read more of my blog, go to www.theviablealternative.com. You can also, and if you like this, what the hell did I just say? Oh, yeah, if you like this video, please click on subscribe, click on like, and, leave a nice, warm, fuzzy comment. You can also, I don't really use it too much, but you can follow me on Twitter if you so please. The Viable Alt. One day I'll start using it again. And my Instagram, IkeLoveNYC. Anyway, I gotta go. Take care. God bless. Continue to be safe and take care of yourself. And peace.